YouTubers. This is where we are with this thing now. The owner of the fan wanted some slow speeds, slower than this little coil could provide. So I restored the coil anyway. I just basically redid the wires and dipped it. That's all I really did to it. Very simple. What I've done is, and I'm gonna have to redo that because I actually did this last night, and I see my insulation tape came undone in a couple of spots because I didn't use enough of it. That's cool. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, medium and low. If I recall correctly, this is medium and this is low. Basically, I think it's 30 MFD and that's 24.5. High, I'm using this switch here just for the moment. I got to get a antique one. I mean, high works out pretty well. You know, just takes off to about 400 RPM. But the thing was, the low speed with the coil was only about 50 RPM slower than that. That is the reason for the capacitors. Both of them have bleed resistors in them. And at the moment, when I go from medium to low, it tends to arc pretty violently inside the switch. However, that is okay because the snap switch that I'm actually going to put on there will have about an inch between the contacts, and that will not be a problem. I mean, the capacitors themselves have bleed resistors in them. So, I mean, within a second or two after the power is taken away from them, they're no longer charged. So, we wind up with a speed of about 140 to 150 RPM, approximately, with medium. I'm going to go ahead and go to low, and it didn't pop and spit that time. Just depends on where you catch it in the. Just depends on where you catch the capacitors in their state of charge. Because you know, electricity has 60 cycles. Well, that's actually 7,200 alternations per minute. So basically, within that minute, the capacitors can be discharged and charged 3,600 times. And low wound up being about 60 RPM. Actually about the same speed as a Energy Star Original. I mean, you can still feel a little bit of air movement from it. I had the bottom plate off of it because I was trying to finish this thing last night. I'm just about ready to send it on back to the owner, and hopefully he's happy with it. The thing about the capacitor control is, versus using a variable speed control, is that it is silent. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it or not. I actually just put the phone up against the dang motor itself, just let the phone physically rest on it, and you'll be able to tell it's quiet. It really is. With a variable speed control, I've got another video of this fan that I have not uploaded yet, and I actually may upload that one first and then I'll upload this one. But with variable speed control, it sounded like shit. It really did. The other thing about this fan is the bearing. I have ordered, or he actually ordered two and sent them to me. The first one was the wrong one. The second one was a needle bearing. And the thing about the needle bearing was that it was just as noisy as the original one. and it stopped very quick. So I tried running it, see if it would get any better. It didn't. Well, a bearing of the proper dimensions for this fan does not actually exist in a normal thrust bearing. Vintage fans in Keller, Texas, what they do is they custom manufacture a bearing for this fan. But the thing is they won't sell them. So you're kind of screwed if you have this fan and you need a bearing. Well, not totally. I couldn't tell you if this is the race or if... Dang it. It's too bright. Let's see if I can get it from the angle. There we go. You might can see that. There we go. An NTA-2031 L125, and I assume L125 is the thickness of the race. But anyway, it's a needle bearing, and as I was saying, it worked fine. Just stopped too quick and it was noisy. So what I did was, and let me back up just a second. This bearing is the exact dimensions of the original bearing, okay? But as I said, it was noisy. So the solution to that was to take it back out. Got a wasp in here. He's coming to get us. Take care of him in just a second. I'm gonna lubricate him. There, lubricate a wasp. Much better. He doesn't squeak anymore. Where were we? So I took the races out of the bearing, or actually just took the whole bearing out, and I polished them. First with 600 grit, then 1500, and finally 2000 grit sandpaper. And that quieted the fan, the motor. That's all, folks. Damn, I swear. That quieted the bearing down, and it also increased the time of spin down from 50 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds from high. And being as it's silent now, everything is wonderful. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for listening to all the ramblings. Really didn't intend to ramble on like that, but it just kind of happened. So yeah, that's capacitor-based speed control on a Westinghouse Sidewinder. Don't let people tell you that it's impossible. The reason why they say it's impossible is because they've tried capacitors, just a single capacitor out of a normal fan. This is not a normal motor. I mean, we got 30 MFD just to get this RPM. So, I mean, hell, a small fan usually uses 5 to do the same thing. On other notes, if you happen to be watching this is going to be on eBay eventually. It's my pull chain wanker fan. I'm not going to turn it on because if I do, there's a distinct possibility that Sidewinder and this fan may kind of interject each other. So anyway, what I've got is individual pull chains for each light. This may or may not be the glass that I put it on there with. It is the VN Tech glass, and I had 4 of them. Broke one, putting it up. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I've got a crystal shade that I can put on the center. I do have the center adapter, and in theory, leaded crystal glass would look really good on it. I'll also have still have four of the Kishler ones, like the ones that I have, that actually go to the fans that I have in the living room. But I need to keep those shades because there's a possibility I could break another one of those. This is a polished nickel fan. It used to be brass once upon a time, but the brass finish has been removed, so it's almost like chrome, but not quite. And this one's also going to be on eBay. Actually, all three of those are. And that's Sean Brown's fan, and so is that. And that's Sean Brown's pile of shit. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Really don't need you to click the ads, but it would be nice if you would. Thank you. Take care.